here I am in a Catholic hospital, and just sitting in my room, this just started getting overwhelmed. Just like, scared. Yes. I can see blood coming out of me. I know the seeds of fear the doctors had planted in our heads about not making it to your 40s. And I was just thinking this could be the beginning of a life of in and out of the hospital and who knows what, dialysis or whatever, as my kidneys deteriorated. So I'm just sitting there kind of overwhelmed. Nurses are running around doing their thing, and so I just had to get out of the room. And I was in my little hospital gown, and so I just said, well, I don't know why I hadn't even thought of this, but I asked one of the nurses, I said, you have a chapel, where I can go. When you hit bottom and you don't know what to do, a lot of times one place you can look is for God, some supernatural power. And that's the way I saw him, as, the supernatural God, not a personal relationship kind of thing. So she told me where the chapel was, and I said, well, I'm going to go down there for a few minutes.
Jeff will be back shortly to wrap up today's message. This is Gabriela, still on the scene today with Talk Network Radio. If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Empowered Living with Jeff Byrd. If you've missed any part of today's message, you can hear it again online, as well as the entire archive of Empowered Living at www.talknetworkradio.com or search keyword #Empowered Living. We would like to acknowledge our music partners, Sound Ideas for Corporate to the Max, and Kevin MacLeod for Airport Lounge. Any scriptures read during this broadcast are from the New American Standard Version of the Holy Bible. If you would like to learn more about Jeffrey Byrd Coaching, visit www.jeffbyrdcoaching.com. That is JEFFBYRD coaching.com. Do a Facebook search for @CoachingRocks or drop Jeff a line at jeff@jeffbyrdcoaching.com. Again, JEFFBYRD coaching.com. Let Jeff's Coaching Rocks be the building blocks of your empowered success. Now, let's go back to Jeff for the rest of today's message.
And a small chapel. It's a traditional, what you would see back then in the Catholic, in hospitals, a small chapel. It had a big crucifix and the rows of seats, and kind of like a small church setting. And so I didn't know what else to do, so I just went in there, and nobody else was in there. And took our front row seat and got right in front of the altar, and where the crucifix was. And I'm just shaking. Well, I don't even know why I was there or what I was going to say. I certainly didn't know how to pray, but I knew I was desperate. And I just said, I think I just cried out, probably out loud. I said, God help me. And that's all I said. And I don't know what I expected, what kind of help to expect, but I had no other place to turn or anybody to ask. So then this, then immediately, almost instantaneously, and it was kind of I didn't think the lights were on in the chapel. It's kind of dark. But instantaneously, things kind of lit up. And next thing I know, and it's hard to describe, but I still remember it like it happened yesterday. I was just sitting there, not knowing what to expect. I just wanted help. And, I was just your typical teenager. I wasn't like all into emotions and stuff like that. So, but then I felt literally, and it wasn't just like vaguely, it literally felt like there were arms wrapped around me from behind. Big arms. And, all this happened in less than a minute time, but it seems longer when I look back on it. But I had this feeling come over me of the first time, not just since my accident, but in my life, of assurance that everything was going to be okay. And I had this feeling of being surrounded by love, a warm love, a light. And I literally felt like I was being lifted up out of the wheelchair. It's not like I was way up high looking down, but just like lifted up 5-10 feet. And I was just wrapped. I was wrapped in love and assurance like I'd never thought anybody could experience. And a feeling of peace came over me. And I knew it was God because I asked him in his little study there, and he was the one that I asked help. But other than that, I knew a few things immediately. And the least important was I knew that my physical healing took place. And I wasn't going to need the surgery without even thinking about it. But the most important thing that happened was something I wasn't looking for, wasn't expecting, and the one that impacted the rest of my life. And that was God showing me his love. Here I am, just some normal teenage kid, scared. People out there with a lot worse problems than me. And he reached down and he answered my prayer. And after a few seconds, I was back. And I couldn't verbalize it, but I knew that there was a God that loved me on a personal level, to the extent where he would, with all these prayers and petitions that God gets every day, and the way I was thinking back then, that's kind of how you viewed it. This guy was up there writing checks. He would ask for something, and if you were worthy, then you might get it. But he knew there was a lot of other people praying too for the same kind of thing. But it was like, why is he doing this for me? Why did he single me out to take care of my problem, how I feel. I didn't do anything to earn it. I'm just scared kid. But I had this just tremendous joy in this urge to tell somebody, tell people, God is real. I know what's happened to me. I went up back to my room because I wanted to tell somebody. But it's not like I wanted to tell somebody. I had to. And I was like, that's what you do when this happens. So I go back to my room. The nurse is in there doing whatever she was doing. One that I'd gotten to know a little bit. And just real matter-of-factly, not emotionally or anything. I said, you can tell a doctor to cancel the surgery tomorrow. She said, what? I said, I'm healed. She said, what do you mean you're healed? I said, and I hadn't even checked to see, I didn't even check.
Right.
I said, I'm sure the bleeding has stopped and I've been healed. I just know it. She said, why do you know? I said, well, check. So she checks. The blood had totally stopped bleeding. And she said something like, well, sometimes it'll do this for a while and then it'll come back. But that would be good. I said, well, I am healed, so you might as well just tell the doctor. And she said, well, they always do a extra test in the morning for the surgery just to double check. If something has changed, they'll know when they do that. Right. I said, okay. And she was in there prepping me and shaving me and getting me ready, for the surgery whilst I was talking to her. And just kind of let that sit. And then I had this other urge come over me, which I've never had my whole life. And I had this need to tell somebody that I didn't know who was going through suffering and difficulty, that there is hope, and that God does love you, and He can be there with you and for you, and it's not just some abstract thing in the sky. And I just had this need to tell somebody who was hurting. So she looked at me like I was a little bit crazy. I said, can you tell me who on this floor is in the worst condition medically, if it's okay, that I could go visit? He said, well, they'll probably not even know that you visit them. They said, there's a lady at the end of the hall, the last stage of the cancer, and she's, she hasn't been responsive all day. She's kind of, unconscious. She's still alive and breathing, but, her time is limited. I said, well, I'm going to go down there then. She said, that's fine. So I go on down with my hospital gown, 9:30 at night, and I go in the room. It's quiet and it's dark. And nobody else is in there. And I saw this lady, and she was just laying there peacefully, not like she was in pain or anything, just kind of sleeping, it looked like. And I went up to her and I said, I know you probably can't even hear me, but I just felt like God wanted me to tell you that He loves you and that He cares about you. I said, He just revealed Himself to me. He wanted me to make sure I shared that with some other people. And I figured that was the end of the conversation. Back then, I didn't know how to